Yes, everybody, welcome back to Football United TV. I'm here with Marley. We're going to be chatting transfers at the transfer zone. Thank you all for tuning in. But you know what's coming right now, don't you? It's the intro. Yes, everybody, welcome back to Football United TV. You know what's just happened? I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a car alarm going outside right now.
It's not yours, is it?
There we go. And we're gone. Good. I'm not in the studio, so there you go. There's the proof right there. And nobody's robbing the car either. So, there it goes again. Welcome back to the transfer zone. I'm here with Marley. Marley, how are you doing, mate? You all right?
Doing well, mate. Doing well. It's been a while. It's been a couple of weeks. Glad to be back.
Glad to have you back too, mate. And there's lots going on in the transfers, mate. Actually, just before we start, the transfer summer this year has been quite crazy, right? Do you think? And you just don't know who's going to go where, etc. And it's quite up and down, actually. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean we kind of got used to the slow rhythm of the pandemic transfer windows, right? It's like clubs had less money, so there wasn't a lot going on. So all of a sudden, dude, this window's been there's a lot of movement. Like North London alone, like you look at Spurs and Arsenal, like the amount of players they brought in. City are moving a lot this season as well. Barcelona is doing like I was about to say doing a madness, but they're doing a couple of madnesses there. Like they're bringing in a lot of players. So yeah, it's been cool. It's like we're playing FIFA. It's been crazy.
It's been crazy, mate. It has indeed. And look, we're going to delve straight into it, everybody. Smash the like, share, subscribe if you can. We're going to be talking about
Wow, that
Scamacca.
alarm is
It's crazy. Maybe you want to tell us a little bit about Scamacca, why go shout at the neighbours and tell them to sort their car out.
all right. I can talk about Skamaka for a while. You know what? Like this actually is an exciting player. I think it's a really good acquisition by West Ham. He's one of the very few like tall strikers that are still technically gifted, right? Like they're not just like they're not just there to put the ball in. Like they can actually play. He's quite fast for his size as well. But one thing that's very clear to me is how much like whenever you see these players, they're linked to a bunch of huge clubs, like left and right. Kamaka was left like he was considered a done deal um, to PSG. Like he was linked to Arsenal as well. Then again, everyone is. He was linked with a couple other big teams in England, if I'm not mistaken. Then all of a sudden, he ends up at West Ham. It seems to me like his agent's a really good one, and he's put in a good word that worked out because like you can see that he's like one shelf below what he was actually linked with. But good player, man, good player. I feel like he's got the tools to do really well at West Ham. He's been doing really well at Sassuolo. I don't know for how long, but I know that this season he did really well. He was one of the top scorers in the league. And Sassuolo, they find good talent very frequently. So if there's a young player doing well coming from there, like it's always a good gamble. And I feel like it came at a good price as well with the amount of money being spent around the market. I don't feel like it was too expensive. It was less than 40 mil, right? So good deal.
Yeah, round 30.5 million apparently right on the dot there. So I think it's a really good buy for West Ham. Other clubs were looking at him. He's a tall player. He's young. I think he's around maybe 6'2", 6'4", maybe. Need to
Yeah,
double check that, but he's a tall lad. Yeah, he's very skillful as well. He's got a very good shot on him. I was watching some highlights of him in Serie A. And he's got good stats as well. To be fair, if you do delve into stats, people, then have a little look. He is a very good buy, Scamacca, as well. And I think that's what West Ham need, don't they? Squad depth. I think that's where they failed last season. They got so far in the Europa League. It was a bit of a struggle to get through to the end of the season. Okay, they dropped down to the Europa Conference, didn't they? But I think they realised what they need to do now is push on and try and get back at least into the Europa League, if not Champions League. And this is a good buy for them, because I know they've been a bit quiet actually in the transfer market recently.
Yeah. Dude, West Ham, they have a lot of exciting players, and like I've seen a lot of exciting purchases from West Ham as well, but things never quite work out with them. And I hope it doesn't work out too well, because like that could cost me. But I think Scamacca's are like, again, it's a good gamble when you're bringing someone from another league, unless it's a huge superstar. Like it's always going to be a gamble, because like a couple years ago they brought in Haller, right? Who's a good striker. Like he's been doing well. He's at Borussia now, and but it didn't work out. So we have to wait and see. But like it could very well be like he could be one of the good strikers of the Premier League for sure. We have a lot of really good ones in the league right now.
Do you think maybe there was an advantage for him in the Serie A? I know it's quite defensive, so actually it should really actually show that he could be a very good talent in the Premier League, because I know the style of football is different. It's very fast, isn't it? But at the same time, he's shown that he can adapt to that. From what I see.
Yeah, no, I get the thinking. I feel like the Serie A is not the same as we recall, right? Like
Mhm.
we're not that young. Like we've seen the Serie A's. Like I actually remember Serie A being the best league in the world. Like it was once,
Yeah.
and I don't think they're as good defensively anymore either. And you just take a look at one of the biggest strikers in the world recently, Lukaku, who like he did everything. Like he made it rain in Italy, and it didn't work out when he came back to the Prem. I know that there's probably a couple of psychological aspects to that as well. Like he fell at home at Inter. It wasn't just about like the league, but I don't feel like it's as easy of a translation as you're making it to be.
Well, Eagle
But
Eye
I
Football.
but then again, like I'd have been happy if he came to Arsenal as well. He's a
Mhm.
good player. I just like you can never be sure.
Yeah, he is. I think he's a steal, actually. I think 30 million is a very
Yeah,
good buy. It kind of reminds me of the Basuma deal, which I still think is probably the best deal so far this transfer summer. 25 million from Brighton. That's absolutely amazing, because he is a
yeah,
talent, mate, and he did
very
he
good.
did need to step up. I'm not saying that necessarily. I know it's going to hurt your heart to hear that Spurs is a step up from Brighton, but it clearly is,
No, it
isn't it?
is.
So,
It is. It is. Of course. No, that doesn't hurt
Champions
my heart. Yeah.
no, well, yeah. The fact that they're in Champions League as well is
Yeah.
probably a big denominator for that deal to have
Mhm.
been done so smoothly. Eagle Eye Football, Rich, big up, and everybody else on that panel as well. Brilliant channel. Scamacca is a very good player. He is indeed, like we're saying, a steal for 30 million. I think Man United were kind of looking at him, because now they're looking at someone from RB Salzburg, which that might happen as well. Similar kind of hype, but we will talk about that when that kind of rolls on, because we're still waiting to see what Ronaldo is doing. Unfortunately, that's the way it's rolling at the moment. Bill Baggio from the Man United Agenda. Evening, lads. Big up to you, mate. We are going to delve into our next player then. We're going to try and rock and roll. We've got a special chat right at the end, actually. I didn't put it in the headline because this is why you should stay in. It's going to be quite cool, actually, I think. And I know Marley can probably read at the bottom there which one it will be, but I'm not going to tell you. It's not in the headline either. So stay tuned, keep here, and smash, share, like, subscribe. We are going to talk about someone I reckon.
Yeah.
Brazilian, fellow Brazilian. Gabriel Veron signs for Porto from Palmeiras. How do you feel about this deal, mate? He's young, isn't he? Not is he in his teens still? 19 years old, I want to say.
Gabriel Veron. I mean,
Mm. You
my
train
guess my guess is he's 20, but let me check.
Okay, in and around that mark, I reckon. I think I did read that he was 19 years.
He's 19. He turns 20 in September. Yeah.
I love my brain. See, it's good to use your brain like that and not actually have like post-it notes with every bit of
Yeah.
information. It's all in there, people. Train of thought. Yes, so good
Well,
deal, right? Do you
No,
reckon?
very, very good deal. Weird one as well. Well, first of all, he's a good player named Gabriel, so I'm very surprised it's not Arsenal that bought him. But mate, there's a couple of things I need to talk about Gabriel Veron here. First of all, like he for a couple of years at Palmeiras, like he was expected to be the biggest sale in the history of Brazil. Like his manager said a couple times that there was no way he was going to be sold for less than Neymar, which now sounds crazy because he was sold for significantly less
Yeah.
than Neymar. Um, but here's the tricky thing, mate. Palmeiras at the same time, like they're the best team and they have the best academy in Brazil right now. And not just academy in general, like their scouting for bringing in good talent, like good young talent's been phenomenal. But the thing is, they have a lot of they don't really have stars, like they don't have old players, but they have like players in their prime playing really well in the first team. So it's tough for a youngster to break in. So Gabriel Veron, he was always really exciting as a teenager. He had a really good like when he first came to professional football. He what's the past tense of shine?
Sean.
Shone. Okay, yeah. Oh,
He shone brightly.
yeah. He shone brightly. There you go. Yeah, he was really good. But I feel like, and I could be wrong here. Like here's where Johnny would probably come in, but Gabriel Veron, like he never spent a full season being a full starter just because Palmeiras is really good. The managers now want to prioritize youth whatsoever. Like he's the best manager in the continent, Abel Ferreira. Amazing manager. I'm assuming he's gonna go back to Europe soon. But I think Gabriel Veron also has a couple of behavior issues, and Abel Ferreira is really like he's a manager that doesn't do deal with that whatsoever. Like if you're not fully committed, like you're not gonna play. So they sold him. It's a lot less money than I expected to see for Gabriel Veron. I know that, and like it's a little weird because he was probably better, like he was playing better when he was about to turn 18 than he is right now. So like that's sort of like frustrating, but still like you can see a lot of quality. Like he's a really good winger, really talented, really Brazilian, right? Like he's very much so that Brazilian winger. I think at the price they got him for, sorry. I think Porto made a really good deal. I'm assuming he's going to be sold for a profit in a couple of years down the line because Porto is one of the best selling clubs in the world. So
Well, I was going to ask Marley and cut in there. Do you think this for him is a stepping stone? Do you think he will go to a bigger club? And that's no pun on Porto because they are, to me, a big club. You can see the scarf in the background
yeah,
there. I love the club. It's a beautiful club. It's a good move for him as well, and especially the language barrier as well. He doesn't really have to change, does he? So it's good for him to be able to adapt and then get into the culture of Europe a little bit and maybe move somewhere else. Do you think maybe in future presence?
I just need to say like understanding Portuguese for Brazilians not always as easy as we expect it to be,
Easier
but
though, right?
but
Than
it's
learning
easier than
German.
having to learn German or having to learn Italian, English, Spanish, French. Yes, of course.
Hmm.
Mate, it's a stepping stone in the way that like it's a step up when you think about like the eyes that you have on you, right? Because Porto plays in the Champions League, it's in Europe. Like there's more focus on the Portuguese league than there is in the Brazilian league. Not by a lot, but there's more.
Yeah.
And other than that, like he could very well have more space in Porto than he did at Palmeiras because Porto's having to sell a lot. Like they've been losing a lot of attacking players recently. They lost Luis Diaz not too long ago, right? Fabio Vieira, who can also play as a right winger, who's what that's Veron's favorite position. He just
Oh,
left.
yeah.
They could lose more players, so there's a chance he's gonna have more space, so he's gonna play more football. I'm gonna be honest. I think Palmeiras could very well be a better team than Porto. If they played each other, it would be a really good game. That's the
Ano-
best team. Yeah, what?
Yeah, no, another cut in there. So do you think maybe because they got to the final and played Chelsea, some of these players were seen as like, potential decent buys for the summer because that was only played when was it at the start of the year, right? We did a watch along for it and it was a good game and Palmeiras played a very good game as well. So do you think that's something to do with it? This is why it was such a big thing for them, not just the players, but the club in general to be in a final because the eyes were upon the players that Brazil are bringing out.
Mate, Palmeiras won the Libertadores twice in a row. It's the best team in America right now. And like it is for a couple for some time people kept saying it was three. I said it myself, Palmeiras, Flamengo and Atlético Mineiro, but it's Palmeiras. The other two like they're behind. Like the culture at Palmeiras, the way they do things, like they don't have aging players like Atlético and Flamengo do. Like they have most of their squads players in their prime doing really well. And one thing that's exciting for them is that like they're sort of in that age and quality bracket where they're probably not like most of the squad. I mean, they're probably not going to be looked at by, Real Madrid, by Man United, by Bayern. Like they're not that caliber of players, but they're great for Brazil. So they're really consistent. But mate, if I'm being honest, like Palmeiras probably has 20 players that could have European careers very easily. They have an amazing squad. Like and the rotation is so crazy. Like Gustavo Scarpa right now is the best player for Palmeiras because their former best player got injured, so he had to step up. He's been playing amazing. He's gonna join Forest in December. We're probably gonna talk about that in some streams down the road. Very good player as well. I hate him. But the rotation's fast. Like they have 4 or 5 players that never leave the team. But not too long ago, you probably remember Danilo being linked with a couple of
Yes.
big moves as well. Really good defensive midfielder. He hasn't been starting week in, week out because there's other great players. If they're in better shape, if they're doing better in practice, like they have a lot of talent there. But yeah, of course, like it's the team that Europe's gonna look at the most. They have the most exciting youngster in the world, like in like actual like kid, right, Andrick,
Mhm.
and they have a lot of young talent all the time. They have talent in their prime as well. It's crazy, mate. Like it's a good time to be a Palmeiras fan.
It is. I'm a Brazilian league fan in general, like Fluminense and Santos and all these other big clubs that are going to see changes in their league, and it is going to turn that way where you do keep your players and eyes are going to be focused on the Brazilian league, mate, and it's going to be competing with the top four. I can see it.
Yeah, I mean, I said there's more focus on the Portuguese league than in Brazilian league, but there's very little reason for that to happen, right? Like we have a better like the Brazilian league is the fifth or sixth best league in the world. When you look at the general, like I know we don't have any clubs as good as PSG or even as Lyon, Marseille, but like our mid-table clubs are probably better than French mid-table clubs. Our mid-table clubs are definitely a lot better than Portuguese mid-table clubs, and we have so much talent. Like it's a country with over 200 million people, where football is the main sport. Like it's the you know it's people. We always look a lot at the Brazilian league, but people are going to start doing that more and more because there's another good batch of players. Like Brazil hasn't been doing too well for a couple of years, but there's a really good batch of players coming up right now, like in midfield, in attack, even in defense. So yeah, man, it's exciting times.
It is. It is indeed, and he's a brilliant signing for Porto, and maybe you might see him play in the Premier League. Maybe one day it might happen.
I think
We're
so
gonna
also.
Good
Not
dude.
necessarily the Prem, but like I think he's still going to take a step up. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Gonna move on now, but smash the like, share, subscribe if you are tuning in right now, and put in a comment. Let us know about any transfers that you've heard of, and then we can maybe talk about it at the end. We got a few more players to go. Then we got the special talk right at the end, which we're gonna smoothly delve into. But right now, we're talking about Nordi Mukiele heads to PSG from RB Leipzig, and I think it's what was the deal? It was around about, oh god, here we go. There we go. Hang on.
Nice.
It was around about 13 million. I was going to say 14 million. I just wanted to get it completely right. 13 million pounds. This is a good buy for them as well. He's a young player. He's done very well for RB Leipzig. What do you make of this, mate? Because PSG obviously trying to buy a bit smarter this transfer summer. Not necessarily buying the signature big name players, are they, at the moment? Apart from
Not
Mbappe.
like they need any more, right? Like,
Well, I know, but they need to, if they're going to buy players in to get squad depth, you want to buy smart. You don't want to be spending out 60 quid for a bench player if you're going to have him as a bench player. There goes Marley. He's got a bit of phlegm coming up there. But you know what? I think he's a good buy for PSG. They do need to straighten out their defense a little bit by youth, by people that are much younger. Because you look at Ramos as well; it's not like he's going to stay forever. So, what do you think, Marley? Man, this is a good buy.
I think it is. First of all, I apologize. That wasn't pretty to hear or to look at, so my bad. But man, like I'm not like hugely familiar with the player. But the price tag surprises me because of what I know from him. Like I think he's a decent player. I know that he can play in two positions, right? Like he's a defender that can play both as a right back and as a center back.
Yeah, he can
And
adapt.
exactly. And he's very different from the starting right back they have, like who's Hakimi, one of the best attacking right backs in the world. Then you have this guy who's more defensive minded. I think he's at a good age. I think he came at a good price. It's one of those. It's one of those deals that, like, if you're PSG, this doesn't work out, it's totally okay, right? Like because they place so much money on other players, like this one, they'd be cool with if it didn't work out. But I think it's smart business. I think like PSG definitely don't need like they don't need any extra star power, my man. Like I'm assuming that locker room's already a mess. So I think more of these players, like versatile players, up and coming players, hardworking players that have been doing well, but they're not like they don't come along with a huge ego. Like that's smart for them to do.
It is, and you know how RB Leipzig churn out decent talent. We know about
Yeah,
that, don't we?
yeah.
Um, and they always seem to come and prosper. Actually, to be fair, I think it's the academy at Leipzig and Salzburg to be exact as well. I think RB. I mean, the Red Bull. I know a lot of people in Germany anyway don't like the Red Bull
Hmm.
franchise side of things, but I definitely think they're bringing people in football that are decent enough. And I know that the area of Leipzig in Germany really do love the way that their town or cities change. So this
Hmm.
is definitely a good buy for PSG, though, mate. And
Yeah.
I think they're looking at the Champions League, aren't they? At the end of the day, and like I said as well, Ramos is not going to be there forever. Probably maybe another season, and then heading out to MLS. Would you say? And
That
then
makes sense. It's not like he's been doing too well ever since he joined, right? So
no.
uh,
Do you think then that Nordi might have to wait maybe a season to get a solid spot, or do you think he's going straight in?
oh no. No, no, no. I don't think this is a player that walks into the team. Like he doesn't walk into PSG's lineup. He's I think he's gonna fight for his place. I think he's gonna get a lot of football because they play Champions League football. They have Liga, like they can easily rotate in Liga without risking too much, right? But I definitely don't think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna have more games coming off the not necessarily coming off the bench because he's like he doesn't play in a position where you're usually subbed in. But I think he's not gonna start more games than he's gonna start this season. I'd be
No,
surprised if that wasn't the case.
No, I agree, and he is French as well, and I think he might get a call up for the internationals, so that'd be
Yeah.
good for him in this way as well, won't it? Because he'll be in a team that most likely will get through to the quarterfinals, right? This year, they usually do. PSG. It's not like they get knocked out, but they get knocked
Yeah.
out, like unfortunately, sometimes in the semis or in was it the round 16 by United? Actually, yeah, it was. Good on Rashford. But all times have changed there. So yeah, good signing for them. Sorry, I left his photo on there too long. Smash a like, share, subscribe if you can. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We are going to have a very hot topic to talk right at the end. It is a surprise, it is a secret, but I'm pretty sure you'll like it in the comments. Trust me, you will. So come and have your say. And we're moving on to another South American player, one we all know actually, by the way, because we wanted to talk a lot about other players that ain't necessarily talked about in the Premier League. There are deals going on left, right, and centre. You got to look at these other players because they could potentially be coming to your club one day. So we're trying to get on it now. Actually, I was talking about the Scaramanga thing. I think I was talking about that, and then Fabrizio Romano come out about 2 hours later, and I was like, "Yes, I beat you to it." I know, I'm joking. But yeah, I was like, "You're 2 hours late, mate. I put that up." It probably did exactly the same thing. Suarez going back to his roots in Uruguay, mate, to Atletico Nacional, right? Believe. So, what do you
Isn't it,
think?
I think it's just Nacional.
It might
Atlético Nacional is a Colombian club.
be. See, this is difficult. Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
but it could be the full name could be Atlético Nacional, but they're known as Nacional.
I've got so mixed up today because I put up a tweet, Marley, and I tagged Nacional, and it looked like everything was cool, and then someone said, "By the way, that's not that's another Nacional." And then someone told me there was like 4 or 5 different Nacionals.
There's a
All
couple.
over.
There's a
So
couple.
I was like, well, I just won't tag Nacional. I'll just leave it at that. So yes, he's going back to the club that he started from. They are from Uruguay, and he was there in 2006 before he went to FC Groningen and then to Ajax and then to Liverpool and then to Barcelona, then Atletico Madrid and so on. Good deal for him, bro. Going back home, going back to his roots. Wants to be closer to his family and the people that he grew up around, and I think maybe that's sort of him signing out. Would you say, in a certain respect, even though the Uruguayan league is a very good league, you've got Penarol, etc.
Yeah, that's the cool thing is that like going back to his roots, right? Like
There he
yeah,
is.
there you go. Like that's the cool aspect of this. I like the River Plate rumors better. That's just a way of him being more competitive because like I think Luis Suarez is freaking amazing, but I don't think he could actually make a Uruguayan club become competitive with the big Argentinian or Brazilian clubs.
Yeah,
So like the most special thing he could do is win the National League there. I think he will. I'm not too familiar with the Uruguayan league. I know that it hasn't been doing well in a long time now, and it surprises me that like it's taking so long for more like consistent rumors to happen with Luis Suarez. Made like it's Luis Suarez. It's one of the best strikers we've seen, like one of the best strikers of the 21st century. Like it makes no sense to me that it's taking so long that he's not like being sought after by huge clubs and well, even like in Brazil and Argentina, some European countries as well. And there's an argument that he could help out like United right now. Like and like he's going to or Arsenal, yeah. But like I'm just like
Arsenal.
I say Arsenal too much. So I thought I'd mention United. I don't know. Like it's a little deflating for me. I like the fact that he's going back to his childhood club. Like that's really cool. But yeah, I just wish he went somewhere where he could be more competitive.
Yeah, but maybe he's won two. He's won the Ligas with 2 different clubs. He's been at Liverpool. I don't think he won anything at Liverpool.
No, I don't think he did either.
Wham, wham. But I saw him play at Ajax. I actually went to go and see Ajax quite a few times, and I saw him play and score. on my Facebook, I've got a video of him scoring a goal. I just knew as soon as it's going to hit his foot, he was just going to score. You know, that was the sort of player. And that was before everybody knew about him and Liverpool were going, oh, we're interested. This was a fair few years before that. And I just thought back then, mate, I was like, Man United should get Suarez. He's going to be something else. I would have loved to have seen him there. I mean, I know that, of course, now he probably wouldn't go back because he's been at Liverpool, mate. So I think maybe he still holds his heart a little bit towards the Liverpool fans. Like they still look up to him as one of the best players they've had. Gerrard still speaks so highly of him and says he's probably one of the best players that I've ever played with, him and Fernando Torres. But yeah, like I do agree with you. River Plate, I think he would have suited River Plate. You know, I would like to see him. I'd like to see him at Boca Juniors. I would have loved to have seen him there. But
that makes even more sense. It's just that River Plate's been doing better. But yeah, like Luis Suarez, like he looks like a Boca Juniors player.
Did we ever find out? Did we ever find out if Cavani went to Boca Juniors? Did that actually go through?
I forgot about Cavani.
Yeah,
where's Cavani going? Yeah, I don't know.
I need to go look that up because we know there were links to Boca Juniors, weren't there? He did want to go there. That was even before he signed for the extended season with Man United. He said he probably wants to go then, and he was like, "No, stay for one more season." And then, obviously, it was probably the worst season he had, not because of him, but probably the worst season he's probably been at United. Where looking around, this is not where I want to be. And I completely understand that. So maybe he did go back to Boca. But look, for Suarez, mate, it's just sayonara, au revoir.
From
just for football in general. Like I don't. Do you see him maybe going somewhere else after that to the MLS, or do you think this is him like sort of about to finish off?
He's still got a couple years on him. I don't think he's going to retire from the national team yet. They don't have anyone to replace him, right? And I don't know. It depends on how well he does there. Like, I can't see them not struggling to pay him, mate. Like, it's he's. I know he's gonna get a huge like wage cut there, but still, like, he's probably gonna be like. He's gonna be paid like more money than the next like 6 or 7 players, right? Like in the salary list there.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know.
Do you think he's looking to like you look at Messi, you look at Lewandowski, you look at Ronaldo? They still want to be in amongst Champions League. They still want to be in Europe. They still want to be at the top clubs. Suarez is around that sort of player, even with his ability, not talking about just about age, like he definitely could still play a couple of more years in Europe. Do you think that maybe his heart's changed a little bit and he maybe wants to just, like I said, go home, and this might be his bow out? He might finish up at the club that he started off with.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Possibly.
That makes sense. If he goes to Nacional, it's more likely that he's not going to come back to Europe afterwards.
Yeah.
And the most I could see happening is exactly like him going to Boca, him going to River, perhaps the MLS, somewhere like that. But yeah, I don't see him making a European return after going back to Nacional, unless he scores a bunch of goals and Gerrard tries to bring him to Villa. Like that's one thing that could make sense.
Bring him back to Villa. Oh, how about that, people in the comments? If you're watching right now, do you think Gerrard should try and get Suarez back to Villa at some point?
Yeah. When I say back to, I know he's never played at Aston Villa, but I mean like back to the Prem through Aston Villa, right?
With Coutinho.
That's been a rumor in the past, hasn't it? I'm sure they tried to get him in the past.
Why would he not be interested in that? That's what I don't understand. He gets some good money. It'd be good for Aston Villa because they'd have a player like him. They were very happy about getting Coutinho, even though he has dropped off a little bit since these days at Bayern Munich and Barcelona. But yeah, well, I mean, why did that drop off, mate? Any reason why? What do you think in your thoughts? Like why that didn't happen? Did you look at the Coutinho signing and think maybe it just isn't for me? They're not really competing. They're not in Champions League. But then he goes to Nacional, and are they in the Copa Libertadores, mate, at the moment still?
I don't know. I think they played in the Libertadores, but I don't know if they're actually through to the next stage. Let me take a look.
Just thinking of other reasons why he might have gone there and thinking that he might be able to win something. And you say it's the knockout stages now, isn't it? All the group stages are finished.
Yeah, the group stages are finished. They're going to the quarterfinals. No, they're out. They
They
they were in the group stage, but they're out already.
they got
It's
king.
mate, I don't know. Like it sounds like he's made enough money, right? Like we never know if there's maybe an investor, like a really rich investor that's a Nacional supporter that just wanted to help bring in Suarez. So maybe he keeps making a lot of money. We got to think about the fact that, like when you play in Uruguay, sure, you're making a lot less money than you are at when you're playing in Europe, like in top European level. But life costs a lot less as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
like he can live as a king. He's not gonna be making as much of a profit, but he's still like he's gonna be comfortable. He's gonna be more competitive, as in like he stands a much better chance of winning titles at Nacional than he would at Villa. Like Villa's a club that's trying to become competitive. Like the most they could do is maybe get a lucky FA Cup or Carabao Cup or maybe a Conference League, right? But they're not at the level to be competing nationally yet. Like very few clubs are, and yeah, just going back to his family, man. Like going back to his country. Like he's had a very successful career. Like he deserves whatever he wants right now. But it is surprising to me that there aren't more big clubs right now going for him. But there's a very clear culture in football right now where people are like avoiding aging players. So yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So Suarez is going back to Uruguay, back to Nacional, back to the roots, back to where he started. And good luck to him as well, because that is pretty much science delivered. Unless someone just comes in and goes, actually, would you like to come here? It might happen. You never know with this summer transfer window at the moment. It's quite crazy.
There
Got a few.
were Borussia Dortmund talks, right? Borussia.
I heard something, but that just seems to have fallen
No,
flat.
yeah, it was very thin, but that's another like Luis Suarez. He's one of the most passionate players I've ever seen, and Borussia Dortmund, they have the coolest fan base in the world.
I
Like
think so.
that stadium, like what they do, like they're so passionate. It's so like it's freaking awesome. That's just something. Even if it was for 1 or 2 seasons, I feel like that would have worked so well.
We'll have
Like
to
that connection would have been so cool.
we'll have to get you out there one day, mate. We'll have to go and watch a Dortmund game. I hear it's very cheap as well. You can get like the train ride, the tickets, and you get a free scarf. A free scarf. You get a scarf for I think it's about like 20 euros or something like that. It's pretty impressive. When I went to Ajax as well and I bought a ticket, that was like 25 euros one of the
Yeah,
times. This was like later on when Ericsson and De Jong were there.
yeah.
And it was 25 euros and I got a scarf and I got a brilliant seat, mate. You'd never get over here, get a free scarf. It'd be 25 euro just for the scarf. So it's nice to be able to get that in with the deal.
Yeah.
Okay. We got a few comments to read out here. First up is Shah United. Big up Shah from the Man United agenda. Luca
Sup, Luca?
from This Is Luca's Life. Big up, mate. And the guy from Zog, the fellow DJ, the master of ceremonies, Talk MU. Yo, see, master of ceremonies. That's all you do when you're on the mic. You're like, yo, crowd, woo, give us a wave. That's what he's like. He's just like that fat man Scoop, Brooklyn Queen. That's what he's like. He just keeps the crowd going. Big up, Talk,
Live
mate.
long and prosper, Talk. Love you, mate.
There you go. Well said. We're going to move on to the special chat now. And Marley didn't even know about it until he read about it. So I hope everybody enjoys this because this apparently has come out in the press in the last few days that not this season, of course, not this season, because Barcelona have been really dipping their toes into players, even though they probably can't acquire them right now due to their financial status and the fact that they're about 260 million euros over budget, because obviously you've got to keep it under 200 million on the wages side of things. But Laporta did say the chapter is not over for Messi, and hopefully one day he'll be able to come and play again. But I wanted to ask Marley, do you think it will happen one day? Do you think he is going to go back? Because I personally don't see the reason why he should. He's done that. That chapter is finished for me now. Maybe as a manager or something in the club, but I think coming back and playing should have that was the end of it. Do you not think?
I mean, his full loyalty, right? Like all of his histories with Barcelona. So it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if he retired there. But going back to Barcelona a couple years before actually thinking about retiring, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I
Not in
don't
my
think
eyes. Not even for Barcelona, if I'm being honest. Like they're rebuilding right now, right? So like bringing, I know it's Messi. Messi's the best
with
player I've ever seen.
Lewandowski though.
No, sure, but Messi's Messi. Like I've never seen anything like Messi. Lionel Messi, he's the best player I've seen in my life watching football. So of course, like if they could bring back the biggest title in the history of the club, yeah, like that's cool. But I don't know. I I honestly like I
He's got
don't
so
know. I
much
could
to
see it
fit in
happening, but I
though.
don't have a prediction for you. What?
He's got so much to fit in though, hasn't he? I mean, he did say he wants to do the MLS thing. He wants to go back and play in Argentina at some point as well. I know he can still probably play until he's 60 years old, so he's probably got a lot of time left. But knowing him, I think he'll also want to have time to just be Lionel, and not
Yeah,
be the football player and like be a bit more like what Beckham and Co are doing and kind of have a back seat. Maybe he wants to go into management, and then you've got to still want to finish football at a respectful time if you are a player to be able to do that. You don't want to be 60 years old and going into management, do you? So yeah, I just think like time is not on his side. So I wonder
no,
whether this would be a good move for him to go there. Of course, going to PSG was because he wanted to be in Champions League and Barcelona couldn't afford to keep him. So getting him back, I mean, I
yeah.
don't
No,
know.
it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like it's you can understand it because of emotional reasons and because Messi's Messi, of course, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, And yeah, I don't know. I feel
Where
like
would
it
you
was
like to see him go? Where? Where would you like to see him go if it wasn't Barcelona?
if he actually went to his boyhood club, to his like the club he supported. That's Estudiantes, right? I could be wrong. I always forget.
Yes, it wasn't. It wasn't any of the top two that we'd usually talk about. It
I,
was a very local club, wasn't it? To
I
where he
think
lived.
it's Estudiantes La Plata. Yeah, great club by the way. Like not River Plate or Boca, but yeah, that would have been that could be really cool. Because like Messi's a whole other like I know Luis Suarez is amazing, but Messi's a whole other animal. Like if he goes to a club that's good in South America, he's gonna make that club competitive with any club in South America. So yeah, that could be yeah, that would have been really cool. It would be great for the MLS if he went there. Absolutely genius for the MLS. But I think I'd prefer seeing him come to seeing him come to South America, seeing him come to Argentina.
Well, I agree with BX Gunner 81 here. Big up, mate, as well. Thank you so much for coming in, and everybody else, smash the like, share, subscribe if you can. Thank you so much. We will be on pretty much all week, and we've got a live watch along on Sunday for the Community Shield. So do tune in for that. Messi in America coming up. See, so that's what I think. I think that's something that he will regret if he doesn't do it, and pretty soon, because I'm pretty sure they're sniffing around at the MLS at the moment. I know PSG's there, but I don't think he's tied to a very long contract, is he? So there could be an escape route next summer. Because it would
I
have been
think
at least the third year from that year now, wouldn't it?
I'm
Can't have more
assuming he has another
than
two in his contract.
yeah, but then after this season, it'll be one, won't it? No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
or one or two.
yeah.
Sorry, yeah. So they still could cash in on him if they wanted to, and not let him go for a free like Barcelona did.
Yeah, but like how much is an MLS club gonna pay, or an Argentinian club gonna pay, right? So
Oh no, it wouldn't be a lot. Like you look at Ronaldo, it's not really that much for an MLS club to buy Ronaldo right now. For
mm,
they could probably buy him for 17 million. It's not that much, really.
yeah,
They could do it.
no, but that's the thing. Like 17 million euros or pounds, it's very outside of the reality of South America. That's the thing. Like for him to come to Argentina, he'd need to be a free agent. But the MLS can actually pay like a hefty sum, but not the values we expect to hear from huge players like Messi, but they could pay like 20 or something like that. It would be amazing. Like him in the MLS, that's really, really cool. Like I'd probably try watching a couple of MLS games, which is not something I do, just because Messi's there and a lot of people are gonna have that same movement, and some people that don't have a lot of interest in the sport because um Americans are really cool with sports, mate. They're really
Oh,
passionate.
we
Like
both lived there. We both lived there, bro.
yeah, exactly. So you know what I'm talking about. Like the culture, like the sports culture in there, like it's so freaking cool.
I got
And
discriminated a little bit.
okay,
I went to a bar and they called it sissy football and they gave me a little TV, black and white thing, like you had to tap on every now and then to watch my beloved Man United while they all watched the NFL and all that. I
oh
think it was a
okay,
bit of a joke and a prod at the Englishman at the bar, you know. I
yeah,
asked to watch the football and they
yeah. I
called
mean,
her and
we
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 got
know we
scrapped.
know what the real football is, so we don't we don't need to get offended by that. But yeah, and that's not necessarily cool. But anyway, they're like the
Funny.
sports culture in America, like really, it's an awesome one. I'm a huge fan of their fans, right? And Americans are really enthusiastic as well. So if there's someone that doesn't necessarily follow football whatsoever, or soccer as they call it, but they're just sports fans in general, and they hear that the biggest player in the world, right, like the best player of the 21st century, is coming to the MLS, a lot of people are going to start watching football there. So it's a golazo for the US, mate. It really is. Like it could be a change in culture that's gonna even make the national team more competitive if they can actually make Lionel Messi play there for like 3 years. Could be huge for the US.
But you look at Gareth Bale just scored recently, I think the other day, maybe yesterday, for LAFC. He's just moved there as well, hasn't he? And it is big for them, really. To be fair, they hear that you see the fans at LAFC chanting Gareth Bale. It's absolutely insane. It was like he was like prime time, the best player in the world. They've just got him. Like it was crazy. Like I've never seen
Yeah.
anything like it. But it's good for the sport, and I think their fans are amazing out there as well. To be fair, and you see, we've had a lot of people on, haven't we, from America as well. So it's from specific teams like Austin FC and Dallas and who else have we had on? I think we've had a Red Bulls fan on as well.
We've had a
Um,
Miami fan.
yes, we have. We had a Miami fan as well. We've had an LA Galaxy fan on. We have we?
I
That's
think so.
crazy.
I think so. We had a couple. DC United, a couple of those as well. Yeah, we're stacked with MLS fans.
So I think BX Gunner makes a good point here, mate, as well. Do you think they could maybe give him a franchise like they did for Beckham? I don't see why not. He's a much better player than Beckham was, right? Surely. So why wouldn't they look into maybe doing something like that? People say it couldn't happen. I don't understand why it couldn't. Like you have Messi owning a club. Have a
Messi's the only player in the world that actually deserves a Lionel Messi FC if he wants to.
franchise.
Or I don't know, the the Houston Messis, something like that. Because like he's yeah, it's Messi. It's Messi. He like there's an argument to say he's the best player to ever play football. I'm still gonna defend Pele, but it's like
And
this guy's
Maradona.
crazy. Like no, I think Messi's comfortably ahead of Maradona, mate. Like
Really?
Yeah, he's done so much more. I know he hasn't been able to do it in the national level, but football's different. It's not like Argentina lost to a bunch of like bad countries, right? Like every World Cup that Messi's played like was won by an amazing national team,
Yeah,
and Argentina wasn't.
but Argentina weren't really good when Maradona really won the World Cup. I mean, it was pretty much him that just.
No, mate. Okay, national player, yeah, Maradona might be the best ever. He's definitely the best for Argentina, but like football player overall, mate, the
For
careers
Napoli as
Messi's had.
well. You imagine how rubbish Napoli were. They weren't even like a mid-table team when he joined. They were getting thrashed by AC Milan, Juventus every week. They weren't competing, and for some reason, he picked them up. Like I
Yeah,
couldn't.
but
Have you seen
but
the documentary? By the way, just absolutely amazing.
no, I don't think I have. But mate, Messi's had like over twice the goal contributions. Like his career's just like it's absolutely like you can't put a foot wrong there. Like it's perfect.
Who
It's
Pele's
perfect.
or Messi's?
Oh no, Pele has like four times the goal contributions that Maradona
You think
has.
Haaland's going to get there, Marley? Because he's got an amazing record right now, hasn't he? As a young player, I mean, my goodness.
I think Holland and Mbappe are gonna retire as two of the best players ever as well. I think
Mm,
they're on track to do that.
that makes for a great show, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Hmm. Thank you, Marley. Thank you
I
for
think
that.
they're on track.
I think we can make something out of that. Who do you think will be the best two players in the next 10 years? Or do you think Haaland and who did you say? Mbappe will be better than Messi and Ronaldo? Is that what you're saying?
That's a tough prediction to make, but I see them becoming like that kind of legend, right? Like that kind of pedigree.
I can. Yeah, I do. And seeing Haaland and Pep Guardiola together actually is amazing because I think Haaland needs that sort of crazy father figure, if you know what I mean. Someone to sort of slap him down when he really does step out of line, but also be a bit crazy and make Haaland see that he can do anything he wants to with a team like he's got around him with Grealish and co Foden as well, who can just literally feed him all day long. It's a lot different from what Borussia Dortmund have. I know Bellingham was brilliant for him. He does speak very highly of him and Sancho, but now he's facing against Sancho. This will be interesting, won't it? BX Gunner says when Beckham joined LA, Kaka had just won Ballon d'Or. It's come a long way, as indeed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beckham just yachting it about recently as well. We're pretty much at the end there, everybody. We just literally talked about Messi, whether he should go back to Barcelona one day. If you do want to smash it in the comments right now, whether you think he will or not, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you want to say, that's cool. But I think, what did you say, Marley? It potentially could happen, but it'd be silly because of the time that's not on his side for the amount of things and the amount of places he probably wants to go and play.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I mean, I could see it happening, but it's a little crazy. It's a little crazy, and it makes more sense for him to retire on this side of the world than in Europe. But then again, like his connection with Barcelona is like something to behold, right? Like it's
Europe,
not something we can.
but then it
What's happening?
It's all right. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, because of the connection with Barcelona, like I could still see him retire at Barcelona, but it would be weird to see him come to the American continent, then go back to Barcelona to retire because his like he's gonna have dropped, but Messi's gonna retire as a competitive player. I don't see him. I don't see him like becoming Cesc Fabregas, who was like a top player, but like he's dragging on his career and becoming like a second division player, becoming like I. That's not gonna happen with Messi or Ronaldo. Like they won't let it.
No, I know. But I do see him. I definitely do see him going to the MLS. Does Talk want to come in? Talk, you want to come in?
Ooh, yo,
Yo, what's happening?
Good, you? Do you know what,
Yeah, man.
actually? While
Go
you're
on.
here, mate, we might delve into one little more special thing here. So, everybody, if you
Go
are
on.
tuning in, smash like, share, subscribe. I was going to talk about it next time, but I'll talk about it now. And let me just take the banner down. You might have something to say on this. I don't think it's going to happen, but Anthony Martial potentially going to Juventus. What do you think about that, mate?
Uh, I'm not so sure, to be honest, just because obviously we don't know what the situation is with Cristiano. Apparently, someone has been putting it out on Twitter that breaking news: Ronaldo's on his way back to Manchester. Of discussions and talks. So, God knows where that's going to lead. Probably to more money. I'm certain of that. And also, we do need a backup for him. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, Ten Hag is listen. There's no way Ten Hag is going to just drop Anthony Martial at the first sight of Ronaldo coming back. No way. Ten Hag's not that type of manager. Anthony Martial, in my opinion, as he's earned the right now to keep being picked as long as he's fit, going into the start of the Premier League, and for the remainder of these pre-season games, is more than earned it. And like I said in my tweet the other day, I think it was yesterday. I was saying to the fan base, listen, we all need to come together and show Anthony Martial love, respect, and support, and confidence. We show that we're confident in him. Even if he has a slight dip, so what? Get behind him. We can't be selective in who we're going to support. We got to support the manager. We got to support the team. Simple as that. We can't control who the manager brings in or who he gets rid of. All we can do is just show our support, and we got to do that to keep giving them that boost that they need. Because there will be dips from all players. There's no two ways about that. He is a good manager, Ten Hag, but he ain't no magician. He's not Gandalf. He's not a magic spell on everybody. Do you know what I mean? So
he's not from Zorg.
No, he's not from Zorg. Yeah. So for me, that's where I think that we have to be at the moment. So I think, but I'm going to say at this stage, I don't see that being anything. I mean, it might be a rumor, but I can't see Manchester United unless they come in with a ridiculous amount of money offer. I can't see them being entertaining it because he's our striker at the moment, and he will be a great number 2 if Ronaldo stays. But
well, yeah, man, they've just got rid of Dybala, haven't they, as well? So I'm not sure what sort of route they're looking at going. Juventus look a little bit deflated. I think AC Milan look like they're back on top of their perch right now, and that's really nice to see. But also another thing we wanted to ask you, Talk, as well, because we were talking about it just before, and we'll quickly finish it off because we only got a few minutes left, was Messi back to Barcelona one day. Do you think that would happen? Do you think he would go back there just to be a player, not just a coach, but to go back and play there maybe next season? Because apparently Laporta said he doesn't want to close the chapter on him, and he wants to finish it off in good style and not like the way it was.
Well, it's a possibility, a big possibility, because if he sees out his contract with PSG or comes to us, I don't know how many years he signed for, but if it's this coming season and that's the end of it,
I'm assuming it was 3, right?
Was it 3?
I'm assuming it was. No, I'm just assuming. I don't actually remember.
Well, if it was 3, how old will that make Messi then when he goes back? If he does
38.
Okay, so 38.
How old's Messi right now? 36, right?
36, 37, 38. Yeah, so if you like 38. Yeah,
35.
I mean, plus the other thing is that he's broken that financial feed from Barcelona, hasn't he? So he can now that's gone. He can say to them, "Look, yeah, I want to come back for another season or maybe 2, and I will gladly bow to whatever package you come up with in order to to make it financially viable for you to do so." He may well do that, and given the amount of money that he's earning at PSG, which is like 35 million or whatever, when you break that down into what it takes on profit, it's still a ridiculous amount of money. So I think it's a big possibility, because where else would he want to go and finish his career? If it's his last playing season or 2, of course it's got to be Barca.
Well, we did say it would be his local club, right, Marley, in Argentina, the one that he adores. Can you repeat it for us?
I think it's Estudiantes La Plata, but I'm not sure. Let me actually see this like boyhood club. I think
I
it's
think
Estudiantes. Oh
Would that
no,
be it?
yeah, there you go. Newell's Old Boys.
Newell's Old Boys, right? Yes, which is was it not I think it was the same as Maradona actually.
That would be his encore, wouldn't it? Then surely that'd be his encore. He would finish his playing career in Europe at Barca, then do an encore at that club you just mentioned.
We said MLS as well, and
Hmm.
BX Gunner said MLS. He said Messi is in America coming up because obviously he'll look to maybe towards what he could do after football as well. He might not potentially be a manager.
It sounds
But-
like Messi needs a clone, right? Because yeah, he's not gonna have enough years to play everywhere he wants to.
I know. Yeah, it is a
That's what we
strange.
said.
It's a strange thing. It was interesting what Marley was saying. I know you're going to finish shortly, but I was listening to what Marley was saying about Messi and Maradona, and yeah, I mean Messi on the eye and what he's won and everything else, and then but I mean, I also have to kind of think though, Marley, is Maradona with the abs. I mean, if you think about Maradona, the circus he had around him, it was a different type of circus. I think it was a more difficult circus to deal with for him whilst he was doing what he's doing, especially when he was at Napoli, because as we know, there were some dodgy characters around him at that time, drugs, all kinds of madness going on. And I think I think that has to be a stream on its own, Matt and Charlie. To be fair, I mean, you two have got to come up with a stream title for that, and then because I don't think you don't need to bring anybody else into it. It's got to be it's Messi and Maradona.
Really. So we just thought of a stream. It was going to be Haaland and Mbappe versus Ronaldo and Messi.
All right, okay.
Just to see Marley said that he thinks that Mbappe and Haaland will be just as big.
I did not say that. I said I could see them retiring as some of the best players in the history of the game.
Right. Okay.
You know what it is? You know what it is, right? I'll tell you what it is, though. The difference, I'll be interested to see if you concur, is that Messi and Ronaldo are like artists, whereas Mbappe and Haaland are like conductors. They haven't got the artistry the same as Messi and Ronaldo, but they've got the pace, they've got the power, they've got the ability to work. I mean, we all know about Haaland, what he's going to do at Man City. We know why he's going to work at Man City, because not only can he play the offside trap, but he can also work the line of defenders. And his movement is unbelievable. His movement, it's going to be an absolute nightmare and comical at times. I must say, it is going to be comical at times watching defenders trying to keep up with Haaland and then watching other players floating in around him, just popping them goals in left, right, and centre. But what I will say as well, also quickly, Marley, I think Arsenal did a great bit of business with Gabriel Jesus. I thought that was a fantastic bit of business, and he's going to do bits for you. He's going to do bits for you this season. I'm telling you that right now. He really is.
I think so too. I'm confident, and I agree with you.
I'm happy that it's not Fred, but I
miss him. I miss him. Fluminense's doing well, but I miss Fred. I miss him. I miss him dearly. But mate, Mbappe, I mean, Ronaldo sort of became that afterwards as well. But Mbappe and Haaland, like, I honestly feel like they're not humans. Yeah. Like, they've evolved, right? Like, they're at some point in science, they're going to realize they're not Homo sapiens and they're the next thing. Because
How do you think I know, Marley? How do you think I know all this?
Exactly. Yeah, that's all info you're gathering for the mothership.
Yes, exactly, bro. It's all there, bro. It's all there.
But I agree. They're not like no one has what Messi had, right? Like the ball sticks to his feet. Like I've never seen anything close to that. But I feel like they're gonna have like huge numbers and they're gonna be really dominant. The best comparison I have is LeBron James. I feel like they're gonna be the LeBron James of football. Like they're gonna be physically imposing. That also comes with a lot of not necessarily like tricks, but they're quite skilled as well. Like they can always accomplish what they need to do to score, to assist. Like they're phenoms, mate. Like I hope a Brazilian steps up to compete with them at some point, but as of now, I don't see anyone competing with them for the Ballon d'Ors a couple years down the road.
Well, yeah, look, just to go back on the players that we have talked about this evening. We talked about Scamacca. Scamacca, sorry. Why did I say? I always think of Scaramanga. I think that's a Bond villain, isn't it? Veron, Luis Suarez, Mukiele. And of course Messi too. Thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank you so much. Smash like, share, subscribe if you can, and we'll be back. I think tomorrow. I'm going to be back on tomorrow doing another transfer zone. Going to look into stuff. So check out our Twitter as well, because will be giving you information very early, around 7-8 a.m. UK time. So keep on out. When it's not all about Premier League as well, I'm looking up things that are going on all over the world. We got Michel Sanchez on Friday midnight talking transfers, talking about who's coming over potentially from Liga MX and the MLS. And I think we've got Charlotte from the day away as well coming on, talking about her experiences doing her podcast on Spotify, etc., for an Introduce Yourself show. So please stay tuned. I know I've gone over time, Marley. I'm so sorry. Now you can have a little go at me, mate.
You bastard.
Yeah, it's fair. Usually very cool.
I say, is that not a trifle too harsh, Bean?
Don't look at the numbers. It's good. It's about an hour long, so just rewind back if you've just tuned in. And until then, everybody, peace out. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Ciao.